Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. Today I'm making katsu ramen, one of my favorite foods. Thank you guys for all the subscribers we've been getting recently, it means a lot. But yeah, just hit the subscribe button and enjoy the video. So the first thing we're going to want to do when we're making our ramen is make the broth. That takes the longest. So I'm going to start by cutting 4 aromatics. We have ginger, garlic, onion, and green onion. We're going to slice all these, don't cut them too small. Now that we got everything cut, just put it all aside. So we have 3 types of meat. It's all from the same animal, but it's going to be doing different things. This is pork belly. This is going to be for later. This is not for the broth. So these are pork bones that our butcher actually gave us for free because he was throwing them away. These are full of flavor when going into soups, so you want to put as many into your broth as you can. Now when you're ready, you just want to get a really big pot and just stuff them in there, honestly. Now something I'm also using, this is like a piece of pork. It's called a pork bone belly. It's also got a bit of bones, but it's going to add a little more fat flavor to the broth. There are so many ramen broths you can make. You can do a fish broth, a chicken broth, but the tonkatsu broth I'm making today is focused on pork. Also, to add to the broth, I have these little, I don't know exactly what they're called, but these are the ends of the chicken wings that you never really see. I think they're called flappers. But it's also nice to have a bit of chicken flavor in our pork broth, so you're also going to add some sort of chicken bone inside. Now that all the meat is in the pot, we're going to add cold water about until it covers all the meat. Maybe even a little more than that. Now this is how it should look. As you turn on the heat, you're gonna see it get a little red, but that's fine. We just want to bring it to a boil and then simmer for like a night. About 15 minutes into the cook, you're gonna see a lot of this weird foam build up on the top, so you want to skim some of that off. I totally forgot to mention this, but about 10 minutes into the cook, add your aromatics, the garlic, the onion, the ginger, all that stuff. Don't forget it. So as you can see, after a night, our broth has got a lot more golden and it looks so good and smells good. You can always add a bit of salt, or I recommend soya sauce will add a little more flavor. Now make sure to filter the broth. Do not pour it down the drain, get something under it. Now once you've got it all filtered, just put it back on the stove and keep it warm because we're about to do the final prep of the ramen. Next up is the pork belly. You're actually supposed to get a different type. It's supposed to be very longer, but I had a very hard time finding one. And you're also supposed to sous vide it. You can look up what that is. But I think the way I'm going to do it, since I don't have the sous vide, is I'm going to slice it into thick slices and just pan sear it. What I'm going to do now is slightly marinate them with a bit of soy sauce. I think it's just going to add a lot more Japanese flavor. Give that a little shake and then just put it in the fridge for like half an hour. It doesn't need to be that long. Another topping I love to use for ramen is mushrooms. So I have 2 mushrooms. I have enoki mushrooms and I have shiitake mushrooms. I'm just gonna cut a bit of the end off because they're what sit in the dirt and I don't really want that in my soup. Also gonna do the same with the enoki mushrooms. Something I've seen people do in making ramen is kind of artistically shape these mushrooms. I'm gonna try my best to do it here. So after all that mushroom prep, we're ready to sear the pork. Maybe just do a minute and a half on each side. The time will vary, but basically until it looks nice and golden and crispy. So here I'm gonna get a strainer and I'm gonna put it over the broth pot and turn the broth on medium heat. And I'm kind of gonna steam these, but not a lot. I just want to slightly cook them. We're gonna cut a little more green onion for a garnish. So I did not make homemade noodles because that is a lot of work for one time. So I'm gonna use these store-bought udon noodles that are also pretty good. And when they're all cooked, just put them aside in another bowl. Now one of my favorite parts of the ramen is the half-boiled egg. We're gonna get eggs and we're gonna boil them for exactly 6 minutes and 9 seconds is the perfect time. Don't forget to check in on your mushrooms to see if they're doing well. So now we want to cool our eggs. So we have an ice bath on the left here and we're going to just put those in the ice until we're pretty much ready to make our ramen. The broth will reheat them, so don't worry about that. The chilling is going to allow it to harden in the time that we need it to. Now that everything is done, we can finally construct our ramen and enjoy it. Start by putting a good amount of noodles into our bowl. Make sure to wash your hands and then put in your 3 pieces of pork. We're going to come in with the shiitake and enoki mushrooms. Now we have our half-boiled egg. If it's done correctly, the yolk should look super gooey. Now we're gonna get a couple spoonfuls of the delicious tonkatsu broth. But first, sprinkle on the rest of the green onions you cut. And if you've done it correctly, your ramen should look like this. Alright, thank you guys for watching this video so much, it means a lot. This one was really fun to make and I recommend you guys try this one out. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, leave a like, comment, you know how it is, and I'll see you guys in the next video.